Hi folks, it's Thursday the 26th and I've come to do some quick grocery shopping to buy a few ingredients. I don't know if you guys are doing this too or in your own supermarkets, but I got my own bag, so does my mom. Less pollution in the environment, right? No comment. Hi folks. Just wanted to check out there how many of you actually make their own condiments. You know, these little things such as green relish? Well, they have some gourmet stuff, so I always relish using condiments on my burgers. Oh, the pun. The pun. But it's always nice to actually add a little bit of zing or zing to anything that you tend to want to have. Hamburgers, hot dogs, sausages, sandwiches of all types and kinds, although I haven't used any relish on regular sandwiches. But just wanted to ask that question. Interesting things for thought in regards to renting apartments and renting this and that. They were mentioning something about having to provide your SIN number, social insurance number, for rental. Well, first off, you can't. You're not obligated to, and if somebody decides to force you into it, there's no forcing. In fact, it's something that should be illegal as far as I'm concerned. But there is something I wanted to broach because it's happened to me. I don't have any children, but when I did start discussing it with the owner of the building, that is there a reason why you have no children allowed on the lease? She said at the time that the reason why is because we really don't want any children, so that it bothers our tenants. First off, the building itself, we were lied to, it was not soundproof, so it wouldn't have made a difference if you had an adult or a child. The noise would have been very, very bad. But the only reason why that children aren't allowed in most buildings is because the owners of the building, people who constructed it, don't want the children to become a nuisance to the other people in the building if they live on the top floor versus the basement. It's a human rights issue. It's been fought and won by parents more than once, but that's one big beef that I have in regards to people that own apartment buildings. I respect the fact that most people who do this do it for money and that everybody needs money, but when you take up the mentality of a non-social, equitable businessman or businesswoman, I find that slapping people in the face, unfortunately. So if you ever meet up with anybody who has a contract for rent saying no children allowed, don't let that fool you. It's not to mean there will never be children allowed, due to the fact that there is no such zoning laws or any such laws that will prevent children from being able to inhabit an apartment. It's just a ploy by people who actually want to avoid having children, thinking that they can fool parents with newborns or toddlers or adolescents that they can't have children in the building. No. Pets I can understand. Children, it's unfortunately against human rights. The fact that children are allowed or not allowed to live in an apartment complex, if they are allowed by the owner of the building under the superintendent's approval or under the security deposit being paid or whatever else needs to be done, sacrificing a chicken to the gods so that you can actually get access to affordable housing, or at least housing that you can put yourself and your children in. There is one thing that I have a beef against, and I'm sorry to say this because it'll make me seem like a miser towards children. I have nothing against children. I used to be a child. So are all of you at one point that you were children. The only thing is that I had the chance of renting an apartment when I was here in Dieppe for a good 6 years, 7 years. And I didn't dislike it, especially if I lived on the top floor. I had no one above me. and the noise below me wasn't too much of an issue. Unfortunately, they tend to always say it's soundproofed, but unless you see the building being constructed or actually test the theory by going upstairs with a bowling ball to drop it on top of the floor and have someone below you actually actively listening to see if that sales pitch is actually accurate, chances are it's sound reduced more than soundproofed. The problem with children is that, in my case, this is a specific case and a real case. It's not invented. There was somebody who had a small girl, I'd say probably less than 6 years old, but more than 4 years old, living above me. And her child was just the Evel Knievel of little girls. She would fling herself from the couch and land on the floor. Now, the way the apartment was made, it was how can I put it? An entire unit that was made. There was no division between the kitchen and the living room. It was pretty much all in one fell swoop. The only thing that made the difference is that you had a run guard, carpeting in the living room, and then linoleum in the kitchen. It just was painful. I was trying to relax, have a nice time, do nothing, not even watch TV. I think I was trying to read or listen to jazz. Do you know how much of an inconvenience and how much of a stress booster it is to have a child jumping on top of your head and feeling and really grasping that the world is about to come to an end because the ceiling just feels that it's about to collapse on top of you? That's one thing I have a hard time with. People, if you do have kids and you're looking for an apartment, seek a basement apartment. That's my recommendation to all of you, for the fact that it's less of an issue. In fact, most people renting apartments will rent basement apartments to families with children due to that fact that it will be less of an issue to the other tenants in the building, unless there's loud banging noises, loud crashing noises, or anything else that could go through the walls, up into the ceiling. Don't mind my eyes, they tend to do this when I'm tired. So that's it, people. I'm over at the Great Canadian Dollar Store. Just wanted to show you this. It's a nifty thing, isn't it?